Oh, well, while we're here, why not get into the story of how I ran 100 miles. When I thought of ultra distance as a little child, I thought of 100 miles and I was like, no. But once I set my mind to actually want to become an ultra runner, I had to do it. And it didn't leave my mind. And it was just like, that's what it was like. The stories of other 100-mile finishers, and you see how crazy their stories was. Oh my gosh, I had to do it. I just had to. And that is where the story begins. On April 1st, 2022, I signed up for this run. No ordinary run, might I say. This was a backyard ultra, 4.14 miles every hour until you're the last person standing. Me being the optimistic handicap that I am, I decided that would be my first 100 miles. But I say I was pumped for this run once it started. I felt great. Mile after mile, we were chatting it up, we were having so much fun. My brother was there, and it was great. Well, until it wasn't. Yep, that's me. Mile 53. I dropped out because I ate as much calories as I burned.
Yep.
And that ended my dream of being a 100-mile finisher. Or did it? 2 months go by. A new challenge approaches. An ambitious 100-mile race in the Colorado mountains. It was my chance to show myself I could run this distance. So, June 11th, 2022, my mother and I set out the journey to conquer 100 miles.
Cow over there watching us.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Brought his buddies along. Cow.
Well, we got 24 hours until race. The nerves were high, but the people of Colorado were much higher. I towed the starting line of the race that I could prove myself. The race that, well, would bring me 100 miles. It started. The miles ticked. It was absolutely gorgeous. What went from being 10th place went from being first to the aid stations first. And I think this is where I started to doubt myself. So, I just entered first place. I don't know how or why, but that makes me a little nervous. I'm gonna try to calm down and just keep moving forward. But still I ran in the beautiful mountains of Colorado. I was having a blast. Until I wasn't. I want you to watch this mile 30 aid station very carefully and see what I did wrong.
Still feeling super good medically?
Yeah, I need slower.
Yes.
Great job, brother, alright? Seriously, great job.
Notice how the caring EMT asked if I was all good? I said yes. And that was my
I
mistake.
just tried to run.
I probably should have
Everything
told him
cramped up
I was
on me.
dying. So I thought this feeling I had here was all just a part of the pain cave. Like, everybody goes through this. I just gotta push harder. I'm all good. So I did. I pushed harder. And this was me approximately 5 miles later.
I don't know what's going on. Ow! can't even freaking walk.
Long story short, I passed out and woke up with my breakfast smeared all over my body. In full body cramps that had me yelling so loud, the mountain goats had to migrate. I was thankful enough to meet a guy named Keith who practically saved my life. He gave me these nasty, nasty sodium shots that I do not want to know the origin of. Oh, and that friendly EMT, he showed up 4 hours after I talked to him. Along with a search and rescue team, I had to decline the hospital trip considering the price of healthcare in America. I was super, super grateful to learn this lesson because electrolytes. That's what I did wrong this time. So the first time was food, second time was electrolytes. So now I know, right? Was this over? Like, I just failed twice. Failed! My dream of running 100 miles. There was no hope. I will always be a 50-mile man, never realizing my true potential. Or will I? The date is August 27, 2022, and boy oh boy was 100 miles on my mind. I had to do it. I had to run this distance. I cannot let life go by a whole nother year without running 100 miles. This was my only shot, so I had to do it. I decided to run 20 5-mile loops around my neighborhood, with my house being the aid station. I have 20 aid stations. There's no way I could fail, right? Everything would be at my disposal when I needed it. I have an entire house. Hopes were high, and considering the marijuana laws of Wisconsin, hopes were the only thing that were high. Midnight will be the start of my 100 miles. This is gonna be the most insane thing I've put myself through. I've already failed at this twice, so I've accepted that failure is not an option this time. This was quite the mental toughness run. 95 miles to go. Taking a little pee-pee quick, but 10 miles in. But 20 miles in. Doing the same loops 20 times really takes a toll on the mind. Regardless of that, I persisted. Alright, so we're 25 miles in. A tortilla roll-up with honey. But I'm feeling good. Looking good as always. 30 miles in. The miles passed, and it was a battle of many factors. Many factors. Some that I would rather keep private. May or may not have to drop a Moab on a family of ants on this time around. Then halfway started to approach. 40 miles in, feeling good. Alright, so one more loop and we're halfway. I was doing it. I was actually going to run 100 miles. 70 miles. It was all coming to life. Or was it? No, it really was this time. Like, Mile 75, mile 80. It's 12:38. 85 miles. In abundance of pain later, I was past 90 miles. August 27th, 2022, mile 95. This is my last loop. .93 miles in. Dude. So many emotions. I don't even know which one to feel. It's just ridiculous. See? And oh my God. Dude, just run 100 miles. Holy crap. Okay.
100 miles, baby! That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
What's it like having two mentally disabled sons? It's adventurous.
The last 16 hours have been the hardest hours of my life. And yeah, that was the journey. 100 miles. I conquered that ridiculous distance. And, well, you don't mind, I'm gonna go take care of some business.